Hi everyone, my name is Thilini and I'm here to make chocolates with you today. So for today, I'm going to be making enough chocolate for one mold. For that, let me walk you through the ingredients that we're going to need. I have 200 grams of dark chocolate. You may use white chocolate or milk chocolate based on your liking. I have 1.5 teaspoons of virgin coconut oil. I use this because it has no flavor, but you may also use vegetable oil or any other type of cooking oil that you prefer. So for the ganache, I have 50 grams of white chocolate, 40 milliliters of whipping cream, and I've got my essence and my coloring. So for today, I'm going to be making chocolates with strawberry filling and with mint filling. Moving on to the utensils that we're going to need for today, I have a mixing spoon, a spatula, 2 teaspoons, 2 little bowls to mix the ganache in, and a scraper. These are the most important ones that you need. I also have a board wrapped in oil paper that I can scrape the excess chocolate off. I've also got a saucepan here, which is big enough for me to double boil my chocolate. A smaller saucepan for the ganache, and of course a large bowl to mix your chocolate in. Alright, to start off with, we are going to keep a saucepan of water to boil. You're going to fill water enough to boil, but not too much where it touches the bottom of the bowl. To double boil chocolate, you need to place your bowl over the boiling water. Alright, and you need to make sure that the bottom of your bowl does not touch the water. Alright, now that the water is boiling, we can place our bowl on top of it. Alright, make sure the bottom of your bowl does not touch the water. And I'm going to add my chocolate to it. Alright. I'm going to add the oil. I'm going to take my mixing spoon and mix it well so that all the oil gets on the chocolate. You need to keep mixing it till the chocolate melts. That's going to take a few minutes. Once the chocolate comes to this texture where it's fully melted and there are no pieces, alright, you can switch off the cooker, take your bowl out. Be careful, it can be very hot. Alright, and now you need to whip your chocolate with your mixing spoon. Don't stir it, but whip it. This will take a couple of minutes of whipping, and you might need to take a break in between. You know you've whipped it enough once you get a texture where the chocolate can be poured. Just like that. Alright, now what I'm going to do is pour the chocolate into the mold. What I'm going to do actually is to take this mixing spoon and pour it in. I'm placing my mold on the board so that if anything spills onto the board, we can always scoop it back. It's okay if it comes out of the mold. We just need to fill it in. Alright, don't mind the mess, because what we're going to do is simply move the chocolate around. Alright, and we're going to scrape the excess off here, just like that. Just scrape it onto the board itself. Make sure you wipe your scraper before you do a second scraping. Right? And then just so we need to make sure that the mold is properly coated. So what we're going to do is, so if anywhere you feel that it isn't filled enough, you're just going to push your mold up just to make sure the entire shell is coated. So just a little push, just to make sure the chocolate gets in there. Right, now that we fill the chocolate into the mold, I am going to flip the mold over onto the board. I'm going to just let the excess chocolate come out. You can shake your mold off a bit to let the chocolate drop. All right, take it there. It's going to look messy like this, but that's okay. What we're going to do with the excess chocolate that we have collected, we're going to put it back right into the bowl because we're going to need it for later. You may use your scraper, and let's not waste any of the chocolate you've got. Right back in. Alright, now once you've scraped the chocolate off, flip your mold over onto the board once again, just for a couple of minutes. This is so that the chocolate which is on the inside can pour out and come coat your shell properly. We need the base of the chocolate to be nice and thick so that it won't crack once we try to take it out of the mold at the end. Alright, now that we've left the mold to drip, we can pick it back up. Alright, use your scraper to get any excess chocolate off. Easiest would be to simply just scrape it off. Alright, and you're going to pop this mold into the freezer. Alright, now that we've put the chocolate shells in the fridge to cool, we're going to leave our chocolate and the saucepan aside. Alright, and in the meantime, while the chocolate shells cool, we're going to make our chocolate ganache, the filling. To make the ganache, we are going to add our whipping cream into the little saucepan. Set it on a low flame. And stir it till it boils. As you see your whipping cream bubbling, you're going to take it off the heat and add your white chocolate to it. You just need to keep mixing till all the white chocolate melts and there should be no pieces left. So you'll get a nice creamy white chocolate ganache. Once there are no pieces of chocolate left, you can have your two bowls. I have two bowls because I'm doing two fillings, and you can just simply separate them into the bowl. You can scrape out all that ganache and we've got that. Alright, so now I'm going to add my coloring and essence to the two mixtures. I've got strawberry and mint, so I have strawberry essence with a little bit of red food coloring, and I've got mint essence and a little bit of green food coloring. You don't want to make the mixture too dark because it's always nicer when your chocolates have a lighter colored filling. Start off with the strawberry. I'm simply going to add some essence. The quantities that you add are based purely on the type of essence you're using. It could be differs from brand to brand. So some flavorings are a little strong, some essences are a little stronger, some are not as much. So right now mine isn't too strong, so I used a little bit of extra essence in there. As for the coloring, I am simply going to use a small toothpick. Just dip it into the coloring and dip it into my mixture. Alright. I am then going to take one of the spoons I kept and mix it up. So I've got that nice light pink for the filling. I'm going to leave that aside. And I'm going to do the same thing with the mint. I'm going to add the essence. And then the coloring. Use a different toothpick so that you don't mix the colors. This might need a little bit more. Okay. Use a different spoon and mix it all up. So this will be the filling for the chocolate shells. Alright, now that I've taken my chocolate shells out of the fridge and we've completed making the filling, I'm going to spoon the filling into the chocolate shells. I'm going to use a little spoon, a measuring spoon, because I find it easier, but you can choose to use either a spoon or a piping bag, either works. So I'm simply going to go and fill it in. Make sure you don't fill it all the way to the top. You should only fill it a 3/4 full. This is so that we leave enough space to seal the chocolate shell. Alright, I'm going to do the same with the strawberry filling. Alright, now that we've filled the shells in, I am going to pop this back into the freezer. Okay, so while we wait, I'm going to reheat the remainder of the chocolate and get it ready to pour it on top of the shells. We can use the same method as we did before, double boiling. Alright. Since your chocolate is already melted, it wouldn't take too long to get back to that texture that we were looking for. Alright, now that I have my filled chocolate shells out of the freezer, I am ready to pour the reheated chocolate over the mold to seal the shells. This is, if you thought it was messy before, this is a lot messier now. We're going to simply just pour it on. Make sure you've got all the chocolate in there so that it all gets sealed up. Pretty nice. Okay, I've got all my chocolate there. I'm going to move it around just a bit to make sure I've covered it all. All right. And now I'm going to just scrape the top of the chocolate off. Just make sure you've covered all. Okay, there we go. You've got your scraper. Make sure it's clean from the last time you used it to scrape the chocolate. Otherwise, you won't get a clean finish. Simply start here and wipe it off. All right. There we go. So that will give you a sealed chocolate shell. If you look here, you could see that there doesn't seem to be enough chocolate there. I'm simply going to pick up a little bit and fill it in. All right. Now that it's done, all you need to do is put it back into the freezer for it to chill. All right, so now that I've got my chocolates out of the freezer, we're just going to pop them out of the mold. You need to be careful so that you don't crack the shell. Simply put your fingers underneath and slowly push it out. It should pop out without any problem. All right, there we've got our chocolate. I like to use little paper cases to place my chocolates in. It's better for presentation. So this is how you make chocolate confectionaries. I hope you guys enjoy making chocolates with me, and I hope you give it a shot.